You are watching the only podcast that matters. I'm your host, Juan.
And I'm your host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And this is
Rope
Rope
Break.
Break. How's every single one of you, family? Hope that all of you are enjoying Valentine's Day. Of course, so we're saying Valentine's Day. This February the 14th, 2020. The ones that have somebody, please, spoil them today. It was, for us, it was an awesome day. We had a really great time. And now is the time of the day that we always get
Yeah,
disappointed
that
because,
isn't so great. From 8
yeah,
to 10.
yeah, 8 to 10, gets really disappointed. And are you ready for some bullshit? We are ready for some bullshit because one more time, Smackdown was absolutely trash. Not a good show. We don't really, we're not invested in what's going on in the show. There's nothing that came out of this show in Vancouver was like something that we can say, oh yeah, it's going to be affecting Super Showdown, Elimination Chamber, anything that is coming up. Actually, the main event, the same people that we always see in the main event, and actually the number one contenders for the tag team titles lost
Mm-hmm.
to the big dog and mystery partner that, of course, you guys already saw the show, Daniel Bryan. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Leek, your thoughts on this show?
I mean, like you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Like what did we care about? We cared about Otis, and then we saw what they did with that storyline, which we kind of knew. I mean, I said before, when Dolph Ziggler, he smashed Mama's cake, and Otis was pissed about that. I'm like, I could see, and he was flirting with Mandy, so they already kind of played that up a little bit. So like, I had a feeling that something was gonna go wrong. I didn't think Ziggler was. I thought they were gonna at least have the date and then maybe Ziggler would show up and steal her away. But then, I don't like to me. I don't like how they made Mandy look like just like I don't want to say like a whore or anything but like that. But they just like she was supposed to be there with Otis. She should have
Yeah,
said to Dolph like, oh, like hey, like get out of here. I am here to meet Otis. And
they gave,
yeah,
out
like
of the possible outcomes, they gave the worst out of it.
yeah.
The worst possible outcome they could have come up. They
hmm
did that.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
that was really the only thing I was looking forward to. Because it's like we're all like, oh this, oh this, oh we all want to see him succeed because it's like that's legit. And then it's like they pull like you said like the worst. They're like, what could we do to make this like the worst outcome?
it's
And
like
it's like yeah,
it's like WWE creative, right? They're running the show. Is like our show sucks. Our show
uh-huh.
disappoints everybody. Give me a way to make it even more disappointing.
Yeah,
How
and
can we
that's
suck
just
even more?
SmackDown.
There you
Yeah,
go.
because like at least NXT is always legit. Monday Night Raw is, it's been on the up and up. Like I said, it's been tolerable to decent. Sometimes it's actually a good show. SmackDown has just been awful.
Yeah,
It has
it's
been
just.
lowest and just like there's nothing redeemable about the
I'm
show.
even, removing the scarf out of this crap
Huh?
because I'm going to start shooting. And you're right. You're right. It's like, hey, oh yeah, but people love Otis and Mandy, man. Well,
Yeah,
that's something that people
let's
are invested in.
let's
Oh,
ruin it.
let's destroy it. Let's ruin it for everybody. It's Valentine's Day. You know what? Let's ruin it for
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah, and then
Kathy
like
Kelly,
yeah, she's done.
done.
Well, I don't. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what she's gonna do? If she would jump ship to AEW, I'm gonna say that that's bullshit. But I'm because AEW already has like 30 backstage like hot women interviewers. I don't know what they're gonna do with her. Like, what are you gonna rotate them every week? Have a new one every week? Because like I said, they have a bunch already. A bunch of women to do backstage interviews. So I don't know what they would do with her. Maybe she wants to become a model. Who knows? Which maybe she wants to get in television. But like more serious, like news or something. Who knows? So, but
Yeah,
you
I
like you
think.
said, we wish her the best, but we'll see because I know WWE they still have Caleb Braxton, they still have Sarah Schreiber, so they still have two solid interviewers. So but I feel like they will try to assign someone new, or maybe they'll try to bring Renee Young back into that role, which I think Renee Young is the best that they've
Yeah,
had in a while.
being backstage, I will say the same
For this
thing.
interview.
When
Yeah.
it comes to that, I think that I think she's moving to LA. So
hmm
that's why I think she's gonna try to look for other projects, new adventures, I like new endeavors. So I think that that's what she's trying to do. And actually, she's the one that asked for her release.
hmm
So in WWE. I think they're not sure yet if she's going to grant it or they're going to grant that or not. But yeah, we
No,
wish
they
her the
are because they
best.
said her last show is Takeover.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And
Yeah.
you're right. Hopefully, may what she's looking is something outside of the wrestling world. Because if she will go to AEW, it will be like a little bit like, come on, really? Like
No,
you leave WWE to go to AEW. Like
mhm.
like they're not using you in the proper way. You know,
That's what
you
I
don't
mean.
have any title opportunities. Is that why you're mad? Like I don't. I think that she's probably trying to step away from wrestling
Yeah,
right
like I
now.
could see acting, modeling, something like that. We'll see.
Acting it will be, yeah. So anyway, guys, the show, we're gonna go over every single thing, but again,
Mm.
disappointing. Nothing really came out that like we could say, hey, like the show is we see some improvement. It's just same old recyclable. Like they don't know how to utilize the talent that they
No,
have.
and let's one thing. Let's last week, before the show, they're like Goldberg's gonna be there. Goldberg's gonna be there. Like we said, there's probably last minute people who were in the area going, "Oh shit, Goldberg's gonna be here. Let me buy let me buy the tickets. We'll see the family." I remember watching Goldberg in WCW. Boom, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Goldberg's satellite." What the fuck? And then then they were saying today, Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan. And then as soon as the show starts, Hulk Hogan via satellite. They lie.
Yeah,
They lie to sell these tickets, and then like
yeah.
once you get there, it's like, oh, you're not even gonna see them in person.
So let's hope that like on February 28th, John Cena is gonna be in it.
Yeah, if he
But
was,
hopefully it's
is he
not
gonna
via
be?
satellite.
Yeah, is he gonna be via satellite? Like what the heck? When we go to the elimination chamber, is all the matches gonna be via satellite?
Yeah, you just
Are
sit
we
there
gonna
and
be?
there's like
Are
a
we gonna?
big, it's a big
Yeah,
TV, and then
yeah,
everything's via satellite.
yeah. It's like
So
what the heck? We could have just sat at home. What's the network
exactly
for?
right. Yep. So before we just start with the whole show, thank you, thank you so very much to every single one of our subscribers,
Hmm.
all, not so old, young, new upcomers, and everything. Thank you for supporting our initiative. Thank you for responding to all the videos that we do. We have
Yep,
tons of content, and we will have more. Jean
yep.
Paul and I are
Thank
always thinking of new ways to get connected with you guys.
Yep.
You were
Thanks
saying
for.
something.
I'm gonna say thanks for being part of the Rope Break family. That's pretty much.
Yep. Thank you for being part of
Like
the
I said,
family.
we don't look at it like I said. We every time we see a new subscriber, we pop. It's not just like, oh yeah, another one. Okay, okay. Like every time we see it, we're like, yee. We
We're
get
like,
excited. Yeah,
whee! So,
exactly.
Mr. Egg, you turn SmackDown on. It's 8 o'clock, and by 8:03, because of course, are you ready for a good time? Doom, 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 doom. Then you hear nana, 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 and then you hear a moment of bliss.
And I
So
heard you.
a lot of
I
people
heard.
are
I
already
heard. I
pissed
heard you.
off.
I heard you screaming all the way from your house.
Well, it is. Well,
Alexa Bliss came out.
the goddess is the goddess, and Nikki Cross, she's no, she's really good too.
Uh
When it comes to it's Valentine's Day, I gotta enjoy women, women's beauty.
huh.
So, hey, I won't like she's in the same league as Alexa for me. So they come out and then they're saying
But
that happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, but how awkward is the whole interaction? Because like I'll kind of just take over a little bit here, then you can finish off where I forget because why would I want to remember this show? But I know they were talking about like their celebrity crushes,
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, who's your celebrity crush?" And she's like, "Oh, it was just really awkward interaction." And she was like, "Oh," and then Alexa Bliss is thinking, and then she's gonna say, and then Nikki Cross is like, "It's Brad Pitt." And then commentary was like, "What?" Because of her accent, like the what? Fucking
and I was gonna say
Stone
the same thing,
Stone
and I was
Cold
gonna say the
what?
same thing.
And I'm like, you can clearly tell she said Brad Pitt. And
No,
then
I
Alexa,
didn't. I didn't understand it.
oh, you didn't?
No, and I know I have an accent, but I'm like when she said what she said. I'm sorry, Nikki, but like I didn't understand
Yeah.
it.
When she said
So
Brad, I mean, I understood that she said Brad Pitt, but like, I mean, the commentary team, they should have, I mean, they should have just tried to like, cover up for a little bit more. And just, it was so awkward. The only thing I liked about that opening part was when she was like, well, Nikki, who is your celebrity crush? And she looked at her. She's like, don't ask me that. Don't be naughty.
yeah,
Like that was funny. Like I mean, Nikki Cross is funny. It was just Alexa Bliss. It was just like a really weird interaction. Like normally her and Nikki are like they gel better. Then tonight it was like Alexa Bliss had like I don't know, like something
I
was just
will
wrong.
tell you that when they have to host the moment of bliss, That's when like the interactions become really cringy.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I know she had a lot of issues beforehand with like anxiety, and I know she said like an eating disorder. So I know she's not like, and she had like confidence issues, even though people probably think Alexa Bliss has confidence issues. But when people are like good looking, they have confidence issues, as well, because for maybe a different reason. But at least that's all this, the whole article I read when she first came out of NXT and was up on the main roster and this and that. But anyway. So, like, I don't know if maybe that, like you said, when she has to host the show, it's like the spotlight's on her, so she's more nervous, and that's why it comes off weird. But then this segment got worse because then who came out?
well, they right away they brought Carmela out. So and then they're talking about how she was really best friends with Bailey, and they're like, "What happened? You used to be like Jean Paul and Juan," and they would show pictures of us on the Titantron
And
on
we're out.
Instagram, like like
Yeah.
and all of that. And then Carmela says, "Well, you know what? That reason has a name, and it's Sasha Banks."
Hmm.
He said, "After Sasha, then I was never the same with Bailey." And then Bailey comes out right away, and she says, "Well, the one thing Bailey got booed." And the crowd in Vancouver, they did a great job because they were into the show. I don't
Hmm.
know how you can be into the show. Maybe it was
Hmm.
Valentine's Day mood. It was
Hmm.
like maybe they're on some kind of like
Yeah, and but
substance or anything.
Bailey to me is getting better in the heel role every week. We see her not, and before she used to just like shit on the crowd and this and that. Now, like when Carmella and Alexa Bliss are talking, like they'd say something, and she was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, shut up, pipsqueak." You know what I mean? Or like whatever she said to Alexa Bliss. Like she's quick with like the insults, and it just comes off. She doesn't sound like she's trying to be a heel. She sounds like she is a heel. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes.
So
So
Bailey's getting better
and
in
as
that
a
heel.
result, we were seeing, we're hearing the boos more. So again, she got booed and called the fans sheep because, of
Hmm.
course, they're followers. And then she said that it's not about Sasha; it's always been about Carmella. She said that ever since NXT, she has pitied her because she said that they were friends, but not best friends. So it's like, hey, we used to be cool with each other, but we were never like rubric. So she wanted to be a role model and a leader. So she called Mel a loser, and then she said that she's the most dominant woman and the most dominant women's champion that you ever seen, calling herself. It's like, I've been in everybody. No one can stand next to me, which sends Carmella to say, hey, you know what? Why don't we just do this right away? Because they were going to have a championship match. So I say, you know
Hmm.
what? Let's do this right now.
We
So
need
they
to do
have the
this
match.
match. We need to do this match right now so Roman Reigns can be in the main event.
That's right. That's pretty much what she was saying. And you know what? The match wasn't bad though.
No, no, it
The
really
match was
wasn't.
actually
Like I
very
said,
good. It was really
yeah, like
like the crowd was into it.
yeah, like I mean, if I'm going to be honest, Carmella doesn't look good. She looks like a spray painted, Barbie doll bimbo. I don't like just tone down the makeup. She looks like a clown. I mean, I'm not trying to like nitpick and shit on her and this and that because she's getting better in the ring. And they say, oh, the real person, she's such a sweet, nice young lady, and I'm sure she is. But it's just like you have even Alexa Bliss, her makeup's not over the top. Like, why does Carmella? I feel like she looks like a clown.
And the one thing, see, like
Like, just
when
tone it down a little bit. You know what
and
I mean?
the one thing is like they force her to be blonde just to
Yeah,
fit in because when
yeah,
she was
because
having the brown hair,
yeah,
like actually she looked a lot better when
yeah,
she was with hanging out with our truth. She was part of the 24/7 championship and all of that. She was
yeah.
like she had her hair brown, but WWE officials and creative, I guess, they made her go blonde again. And yeah, I will say, the one thing is Carmella, at least the match, she was able to produce a really good match with Bailey. And again, the crowd was so into it from the beginning all the way till the end. And I
Yeah.
don't know. Once again, like we always bring the controversy or like the theory. Maybe Kevin Dunn was like, messing it with like the sound system because a lot of people wanted Carmella to win.
And that's it. I mean, yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, hey, who knows? Like I said, I feel like the main roster, goers, the people who go to the shows, they're not like usually the smartest fans are more like casual, so they'll just like they'll cheer the face, they'll boo the heel, even if it's like even if, like whoever the face may be, even if it's someone who's undeserving. Because let's be honest, Carmella's not deserving of the championship.
Yeah,
No one on SmackDown is because they don't build anyone up.
yeah, oh yeah,
Like you never see a match of like, oh, Carmella versus Nikki Cross, and then it's like, oh, Carmella got the win, okay. Then you see Carmella versus Lacey Evans, oh, Carmella got the win, okay. Lacey Evans was a number one contender, and she lost to Bailey, but Carmela beat her. Okay, now Carmela has 2 wins under her belt. Okay, that's a little something. Then maybe Carmela beats Alexa Bliss, or she wins that Fatal 4-Way. Boom. Now she's the number one contender. I feel you can't just win one match and be number one
And
contender.
then number one contender. Yeah, they don't really know how to invest, us in a new wrestler.
Mhm.
So that's why
And,
I feel that
and
like
all and also to me the money feud. Or I shouldn't even say the money feud because to me there's not money in it because again you're not doing anything to build this woman up. But to me this was just a stepping stone to get Bailey to Naomi,
yeah,
returning Naomi, and it was like you knew Carmella wasn't gonna win because there was that Naomi feud. What was Bailey and Naomi gonna feud without a title? Nobody wants to see that. So
exactly.
it was a little
So
predictable.
it was
But
predictable, but like I said, at least once again, the match was like there were a lot of points, and there was a lot of intensity. There was a lot
mm,
of climatic points, and like of course Bailey gets the win. We're gonna go over it with all the highlights, right? In a few moments. But at least she kept the championship. She
mm,
retains, and we know that like Bailey wasn't gonna lose. But now we get something extra added to it that like she's gonna defend the women's championship, like we said last week. She's gonna
mm,
have a match at Super Showdown. So it's gonna be breaking news. It's going to be a historic moment. Why? Because a WWE Women's Championship has never been defended in Saudi Arabia. So she's going to be the first one that is going to be doing that. So let's go through some highlights of the match. Bailey kicks out of a roll up and then a sliding pin. They were working hard, and then you can see the intensity. They were like this is the most climatic moments. Mela landed a super kick, but Bailey rolled out of the ring. Mela was frustrated and she went after her. Then Bailey launched Mela into the ring post, and then they returned to the ring. Mela missed a super kick and then lagged on into the code of silence. And a lot of people were like hoping for Bailey to tap out. And you could see, oh my God, you could see the crowd
yeah,
going.
yeah.
So this was so close, and the crowd was hot. Even in the notes, I have that written. So Bailey got out of there, and then everybody was like really bummed. So like I said, once again, maybe it's like Kevin Dunn going with the sound system, or maybe that's really true. And then Bailey rolled Mela up, and then used her foot on the rope to get the win. So Bailey gets the championship. She retains, like we said. Jean Paul is happy. I
Mm-hmm.
have no, I'm not a fan of Bailey, neither of Carmela. So I was like, okay, whatever. Nothing, whatever. So then after the match, Bailey's attacking Carmela once again. But then Naomi, like you said, there's the money program for WrestleMania as of this point. She comes out in Bailey's face, then Carmela pushed Bailey into the glow, and then she stunned Bailey down. Naomi landed the rear view, and then Mela hit another super kick because Carmela, unfortunately, she's very repetitive with those moves,
Yeah,
but
I was just
she hits a nice super kick.
that was the one thing I was gonna say about this match. She has a couple moves. Her submission is legit, the code of silence or whatever it's called, and that's a legit submission because she has the legs for it, so it works. It looks good. It's not like she has stubby little legs, but it's all it is super kick, super kick, super kick, and it's like what am I watching? Is this like an Adam Cole match or is this is this
Or Shawn
Carmella?
Michaels, or
Yeah,
Dolph Ziggler, or
yeah,
Kevin Owens, or everybody else that does
yeah.
the super kick.
Or Johnny Gargano.
Or Johnny
What am I
Gargano,
watching?
and the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So, like I said, then they see Bailey. She goes backstage, and Kayla Braxton. She walks up to her and says, "Hey, are you gonna give a rematch? This was kind of controversial." What Bailey answers to that is like that victory wasn't controversial. She's the role model, and then she says that she's defend the title and beaten every single one of those women.
hmm And
So
that's when she said she's like I'm gonna take this title and the next she's like I'm not gonna wrestle Carmella. She's like the next time I'm gonna wrestle is or the next time I'm gonna defend this belt is gonna be. And I was thinking she was gonna say Elimination Chamber. And then she says Saudi Arabia, the what is it, Crown Jewel.
no,
What do
Super
you?
Showdown.
Oh, Super Showdown. Yeah, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
that shows you how much I care about this Saudi show. So Super
yeah.
Showdown. She's like, that's the next time I'm going to defend it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess the rumors were true and all that. She is going to defend it there. So that's cool.
Yes, she is gonna. We said it on Rubric. You
And
heard
like
it
I said,
first.
to me, it'll probably be Carmella because, like I said, nobody cares about that show. So they're just gonna they're gonna book rematches, unless they'll book Naomi there and then they do Naomi again at the Elimination Chamber. We'll see.
We'll see where they're gonna go with this because there's more elaboration on this news. So we get the first time we get to see our boy. We see Big Belly Otis. He's backstage, and then he's brushing his beer. He got like a text from Mandy and replied with like a bunch of emojis. So then Tucker showed up, and then he asked, "Am I crazy to think that Mandy could like me?" So Tucky said, "If Mandy deserves him, then she'll love all that he has to offer." So then
And
Otis
like I said,
is
you just gotta
Tucky's
love.
organ.
Yeah, you just gotta love Otis's voice. So he's like, Tucky, is she gonna like me?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he's all like,
And
and then
then it's like, oh yeah, it's like he and Tucky,
uh-huh.
Tucky happens to say, "Tonight is your night, big brother." So it's Valentine's Day, is your night, is game night. Today you go to the next level, but we were gonna go over what happened after that. Well, moving along, we get Sheamus versus a handicap match. Apollo Crews. Do we remember who this guy is?
What
He
is
used to
this?
be cool on NXT.
Yeah, this just yeah. Just keep going. Just keep going. I'll
And
speak
it,
first.
and it gets a little better because Shorty G, yeah, I remember him on NXT, part of American Alpha, but it gets even better because this match was like really short, and Sheamus beats both of them, handicap match.
But
Of course, we knew it was going to happen, but why you have to sacrifice two guys?
what was the point of this match? To me, this feud is over. The feud is done. You're not gonna have Chad Gable beat Sheamus. Sheamus is returning. He needs to win his first feud back. Why are you dragging this out? He beat Chad Gable what 2 or 3 times already? It's
Yeah,
done. We don't
yeah.
want to see this again. Yeah, he beat Apollo Crews. What was that, last week or something? Like, okay, why do they need to be in a hit? Now they're both done. But know what they'll do? They'll say, "Oh, he got sent to the outside," and then that's when he hit the bro kick on Apollo Crews, and then he pinned him. So Chad Gable couldn't break up the pin. So Chad Gable's gonna make some kind of bullshit argument, and they're gonna get another match. But nobody cares. We don't want to see it. Just have Sheamus move on to challenge Braun Strowman,
That's what should be, the
and
right
then yeah,
progression, the right call.
because every someone has to lose in a feud. When you had The Rock and Stone Cold, and Stone Cold went over, you didn't keep it going. You stopped it. You had The Rock move on to somebody else.
Not
Stone
keep
Cold
doing
moved
the
on to
same
somebody else.
match all over again.
Yeah,
In the Super Showdown, we're gonna probably see another stipulation: Shorty G against Sheamus. So
yeah. And it's like, I'm not saying that the guys don't have chemistry, and like if you say, hey, you guys have 25 minutes, go out there and tear the house down, they'll give you a decent match. But not in 5, 6 minutes. What the hell are we supposed to care? And
yeah,
especially when, like we said, there hasn't been back and forth. It isn't like, it's not like there was a time where, like, like maybe Sheamus was going for a bro kick and Shorty G moved and he hit the ref, and then Gable got him in an ankle lock and Sheamus was tapping, but there was no ref. It wasn't like there was anything like crazy like that going on. It's always been Sheamus wins. Sheamus wins. There was
and it's
nothing.
and the difficult part of doing that is because Sheamus is just coming back, so he's not gonna lose.
Yeah, so
So
like I
the
said,
fact that
just
they
just
keep
have him.
giving you this match,
Yeah,
they keep giving you the outcome already.
yeah, and it's like, who is this for? Who cares? Like, are you
Yeah,
punishing these guys?
yeah. So moving along right away, Sheamus beat Shorty G down, and then G fought back before Shorty went for the ankle lock. Apollo looked, he took the tag and then he starts attacking Sheamus, and he goes to the outside. Apollo hit a moonsault of the apron, then Shorty hit a missile dropkick, which is a good spot. Then Apollo hit a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. See, two really talented guys. Unfortunately, there's no
Hmm.
room for these guys.
Oh, they're
It doesn't matter
wasted.
how much
Yeah.
talent you have. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Hmm.
You're just a nobody, you know. So Sheamus hits a bro kick on Shorty G that sent him to the outside, and then he hit another bro kick on Apollo for the 3 count.
Yep.
Sheamus gets the win.
Unlimited finishers.
Unlimited. And well, the one thing, like you being mentioning, is like we've seen this already. There's no reason to keep the feud going if the outcome is going to be the same,
Hmm.
and it's impossible to give you a different outcome because Sheamus just came back. Sheamus has had like what, like 2 months of just vignettes saying that he was going to destroy everybody. So far, he has not been put with like a contender or like an opponent that
Yeah.
is going to be
So
as
far
strong as he is.
yeah. So
Why?
far he's only destroyed 2 people.
And two losers. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, but that's what they are. Two jobbers. So, moving along, Carmela is shown backstage. She wasn't happy about Bayley cheating to get the win, so she wants a rematch. She says WWE and Fox need to name the time and the place, and she will be there. So we kept elaborating on this situation, and that's why they had to do it. That's screw up finish.
Mm-hmm.
And
And like,
then we get
yep, probably Super Showdown.
yep, and then we get uh, 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 and like everybody's popping, everybody's thinking he's there. We're gonna see the Hulkster. The Hulk Hogan is in the house. Absolutely not.
He's
Wrong.
he's sitting in his beach shop,
Yep, Hogan.
you want to talk about cringy Hogan, man. I mean, like, he like either did not want to be there, he just woke up from a nap. I don't know what this was. He's like, yeah, what's going on, brother? It's this is I don't even remember what he was saying. He wasn't like, let me tell you something. He wasn't all hyped up like he normally is.
He was. I think the interview it wasn't Hogan. It was Terrible Leia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like, come on. Like, where was Jimmy Hart? He needed Jimmy there to be legit, I guess.
It seems like it is, but like they were doing this interview, and the reason mainly turned out to be that like he was hyping Goldberg
Yeah.
and the Fiend, and I didn't really understand why you need Hogan to do that
Mm-hmm.
because
I mean,
Hogan
this
and
is
Goldberg they're
yeah,
not even good friends.
yeah. This is like a rumor, and I mean, this is like when I always say take things with a grain of salt. This is like taking that grain of salt and like getting a grain from that. Like, this is tiny, tiny rumors. There's some people are speculating that Goldberg is going to beat the Fiend
Yes, yes,
because
and they're
they
gonna
think
do
because
yeah.
they think that Roman and Goldberg is more marketable at WrestleMania.
Yeah, there's been those rumors. I've been hearing that too, and they're saying that yes,
And
the
I'm like,
markable match.
there's only one person that's more marketable too, and that's Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no fan with half a brain. Yeah, you'll get these old timey fans that are stuck in the '90s that will be like, "Oh yeah, Goldberg is so legit. He beat the Fiend." It's like, really, like that. You're really gonna pop for that? Like, he's an old
they're
man. You know
or
that this is a fake, predetermined show, right? Why would you pop for that? That would be like
well,
if a freaking, like some old man in a comic book movie. Like, that would be like if Stan Lee, when he made his cameo in the comic book movies, if he like beat the X-Men. It's like, what are you
yeah.
talking about? Like, this, it
Uh,
makes no sense.
Around that, well, we don't know. We're just gonna find out in 13 more days. So when
Mhm.
Super Showdown takes place, but like there's a lot of rumors that go along the route that you're mentioning. So Hulk Hogan is shown backstage. He was hyping again how strong the NWO is because of course we know that they're gonna be exalted. They're gonna be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and he said that they're taking it to another level and they go for life. Then Michael Cole asks him about Goldberg, and he says that Goldberg is a really powerful man. He had to deal with him during the WCW days, and then we get to see like the NWO back in the day, and then the
Yeah,
following announcement.
yeah, yep, yep.
This was good though.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, everything with Bray Wyatt and all that when the Fiend was good. It was just Hogan had his energies normally at an 11 out of 10. Now he was at like a 2 out of 10. He was
yeah,
just like when Michael Cole, he's like, "Oh, the immortal Hulk Hogan," this and that. He's like, "It's real good to see you, Michael. How you doing, brother?" And it's
mm,
like, that's like the intensity he came with, and it's like, what? I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of Hogan at all, but at least be Hogan.
yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
then we
Like, I don't
get
want to see Terry Bollea. Like, what the?
it was not good. So we
No,
at least we get the following announcement has
even
been
the
paid
even.
by the
Uh,
Firefly
okay.
Funhouse. And then, and then the Fiend is like Bray Wyatt is actually like playing with like the
Yep.
title and the
Yep.
guitar, and then that was really cool. Like, and that reminded me of Hogan WCW days. And like I said, I'm not even a big fan of Hulk Hogan, but that part, like when he was heel, at least was more tolerable for me. And then he says, like, "Hey, Huckster, he's been eating his vitamins and saying his prayers, and he's a champion for life." And then Huskus, the big boy, showed up and he ate some chocolate. Bray said he hopes that it's not too sweet. Hogan and Bray,
That was legit. That was legit.
yeah, I mean, like you said, the segments when involving Bray Wyatt are really good. Like he's really embracing his new character, the Fiend, and this new Bray Wyatt. And every single time that he has like a vignette or a promo, like they come out really good. Whoever's writing that is a good writer. I will
Which
say that.
I think it's him. I think is when he first started them. I think it was Bray Wyatt and somebody else. It was him and one other guy were working on all the Firefly Funhouse skits. So that's what I mean. It's coming from the man himself. So why wouldn't it
So
be good? You know
well,
what I
it is
mean?
good, and then the guy knows how to write, and he knows
It's
how,
not
how to
from
create.
It's not from like 16 Hollywood writers that don't know, anything about wrestling.
It's not cringy,
Yeah.
exactly. Like for example, like Alexa and Nikki came out a little bit cringy with Carmela. So he said, "Good luck." Bray said he doesn't need luck because he's got the Fiend. So then he brought up a picture of Hogan with his eyes crossed out, suggesting that he add him to his wall of victims. Which Hulk Hogan got pissed and left after saying, "I'll see you in Tampa at the Hall of Fame, brother." So like you said,
Yeah.
like there was that disconnection. He wasn't even like, or maybe he wasn't aware that this was gonna happen, but it felt really like
Yeah, because I mean, yeah,
disconnected.
yeah,
That's the word. Like, it
because
didn't
people keep
feel
saying
good.
that there's all this shit like Hogan has been training, and he's like, oh, who knows, 60 some years old, I could make a comeback, have one last WrestleMania match. He's hinting it, and it's like, please God, no, but he's hinting it anyway. And it's like, why wouldn't he get intensity? He'd be like, oh, you want to talk on me, the 38-inch pythons, brother. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing.
No,
It
no.
was like, no, yeah, he was like, I'm like,
Like
so
I
the,
said,
the
he
the
felt
segment fell flat for me, and also the fact that he wasn't there in person. I was also like, really? Because at least when Goldberg, he showed that intensity
yeah.
at the end of his promo. He told the Fiend pretty much like, shut up. I'm not playing these games. I'm
And
coming
then
for
right
you.
away, boom, he took
Yeah.
away the headset and out. Yeah, and I feel that like there was a lot of disconnection, and so that's why it felt really flat. It
Mm.
just there was neither one of them was connected with the other, and it seems like Hogan wasn't buying anything. Like he was no selling, which he's known for. So
Yeah, but
it wouldn't
in
surprise me
the
that
ring,
that
not
was the
in
case.
in the ring, not in promos though. Come on.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me that that was the case, but we'll find out a little more when we get the reports and everything, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people commenting on this. And now we're gonna move forward to Sami Zayn, aka Fidel Castro, during the '60s when he was trying to liberate Cuba, or Marshall Mathers Eminem at the Oscars performing "Lose Yourself," and a guy that like we know him as a great wrestler, but of course unable to ever pin somebody, which is Antonio Cesaro. So both of them saying that they're about to play a song because they're protesting because they're being treated unfairly. They unfair, I will say, and they say by Elias and by Braun Strowman. So they're going to start protesting, and that's why he looks like Fidel, or that's why he looks like Eminem, because both of these characters love to do that, protest,
Mm.
rebel, and everything. And before they're going, as soon as they're about to like do it, string the first chords of like the ukulele that they have, glorified wrestler comes out, Elias.
Mm.
And he starts talking with Sammy and Cesaro, and he says that WWE stands for Walk with Elias. Yeah, we want to walk with Elias. We want to walk outside of this building and maybe go chill, maybe go
Yeah,
drug out.
we want to walk outside the building, go in our car, go the hell home.
Yeah, go the hell home because at least we can have a warm meal there, or maybe we can stop like any gas
I
station and
can
maybe get
literally,
something to eat.
I can literally watch anything else than this awful
Yes,
show. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
maybe we can watch NXT UK because that will be more interesting than this. So he says he says Sammy told him to shut his mouth. Elias says that he's staging a counter protest right now. Sammy and Cesaro had some security and they let Elias in the ring. He said a lot of the songs has to do with Elias, and Elias he says his interest. Then they start playing a terrible song as Cesaro gave away too much of the cowbell. It was cringy. Like I said, I feel bad for Sami Zayn. He's such a talented wrestler. Same thing for Cesaro. These guys don't need to be like in
Yeah,
stupid
it,
skits.
it's like I'm like, why are they? I almost feel like they're punishing them, but I'm like, for what reason? What did they do to deserve this punishment?
I know, I know. It's just
Like,
terrible writing.
yeah, like
Terrible writing. That's all it is.
you never see Cesaro go on Twitter and be like, I'm asking for my release or this or that, or he's like, oh, WWE misuses me. He never says anything, so it's like, why you treat this guy like shit?
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
get it.
Absolutely. Like there's no way to justify what WWE does with Cesaro.
Hmm.
Besides calling, waste and unfair.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what you have in front of you.
Hmm.
You don't
No,
know
they
what.
don't.
And why? Because again, they focus on the entertainment side of things when they should focus on the pro wrestling
Hmm.
things. And
Well,
then
you
you
just
will
yeah, there you go.
understand.
You just hit it on the head right there.
You will
That's what it
understand
was.
that you guys such a talented wrestler in both of them. Not only Cesaro, but Sami Zayn. Put him in a freaking feud over
Hmm.
a championship or something.
I
Not
mean,
even a belt. Like
That's
give
what
the
I'd like to
story.
see. Just like I mean, I would say it where Cesaro, if they come out and Sami Zayn's like, we're going to do this, Cesaro should be like, he should grab the mic and be like, ever since I joined up with you, I've been, all we have, we just been losers. He's like,
Yeah,
screw you. I'm not listening to you. And then maybe he shoves Sammy shoves him back. They start brawling. They try to break it up. And then it's like, they're like, no, no, no. And then the ref, ding, 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 rings a bell and we get a match. And then it kicks off a feud.
there was a report that Sami Zayn is actually cleared to wrestle, but the
He's been
only reason
cleared
that
for a
he
while,
hasn't
I
been
think.
fighting is because they love him as a manager.
Who? Not
The
me.
creative, nobody. They're the only two jerks that like they write for this show. So they're
Hmm.
probably like
Yeah,
they think that
It
like
must
it's
be
looking great.
Vince and Brother Love. Bullshit.
Bruce
Bruce
Pritchard,
Pritchard. Yeah.
Bruce Pritchard, but they should do something different with these guys. So the crowd chanted "Walk with Elias" to the tune of the Seven Nation Army. So that was for me the only good thing because I love the White Stripes.
Ding, ding,
And
ding, ding,
and
ding,
yep.
ding.
And then Sammy told Cesaro that he needs less cowbell, and then he got more booze. The crowd chanted, "We want cowbell," and it was a really loud chant. And
Mhm.
then they started like to attack Elias, both of them. And of course, Braun Strowman comes out, and then he barreled over the security. Then Strowman chased Sammy up out of the ramp, and then a security guard distracted Braun, like he's tried to go at him. He punched Braun, and then he ended up in the ring with Elias and Braun when they threw him onto the other security guards. So that segment. Do we care about this? Probably not.
No, and I
Why
don't
should
know. I mean, yeah, I don't know why you got to team these guys up. I don't understand like what the point. Because to me, like Elias, he should be going after. He should want the IC belt.
yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
they better do something with that where it's like maybe Braun Strowman he can feud with Elias for a little bit until you get closer to WrestleMania, and then the WrestleMania feud is Sheamus.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what I would do.
like anybody, you shouldn't have friends.
And
You
he could,
shouldn't
and
have
he,
like
yeah, and he could, Braun Strowman could also beat Cesaro in the process, which I wouldn't like to see. But then it would, Sheamus could cut a promo and say, I came here, the only person who I respect on SmackDown was Cesaro because him and I were partners in the bar, and like you kicked his ass, now I'm going to kick your ass. There could be a little something like that.
it could be like something different. Anything is
Mm,
better than what we get. That's how it should be. Anything
exactly.
should be better than what we get. More elaboration, Mr. Leegg, on the women's championship situation. Naomi Jones backstage. She said she wasn't happy about Bayley and her mess. She said that what happened to Mela tonight was not fair at all. So she wants a title shot because Bayley has never defeated her. So she knows the glow is real. And then she's next to be the champion. So while we get the news, and see, you're already falling asleep, and we get the news that Carmela and Naomi are going to be fighting on SmackDown next week to determine the number one contender at Super Showdown.
Yeah.
So
Now, see,
finally,
at least to me, that makes now it's like you're. I mean, again, like what did Naomi do to deserve a number one contendership? She just came back. I mean, she had a good showing in that Fatal 4-Way, but at least you're like booking a match. It's not just like, oh yeah, like I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit better. It's than just
at
being like,
least
oh
you're
yeah,
giving me,
here's Naomi.
you're giving me a reason. You're giving
Yeah.
me like some kind of understanding. Figure these two women won a championship match. Okay, you two want to fight for a championship. You're gonna
Hmm.
be fighting against each other to determine who goes against Bayley. So it makes sense. So at
Exactly.
least you're giving me 2 3 weeks of like what I would say senseful, if there's a word, that makes sense. TV,
Hmm.
and I finally get it. Okay, if, let's say whoever becomes number one contender, I will be like, oh yeah, I know why she's the number one contender because she beat this so and so, and then she went and beat so and that's why she's the number one contender. So, Mr. Leek, the very and most important segment of the night, they were hyping it up for the longest time, and like of course WWE, when they hype something, they have to crash it. Like Rusev to his wife and every single storyline that like he's been linked to, he crashes that. Mandy Rose and Otis, we get to see how like Otis is fixing his hair, he's fixing his tuxedo and everything. He has some flowers, but then we get to see Mandy Rose waiting, and she's waiting like she's looking gorgeous. Of course, she's stunning, and it's not stunning Steve Austin, it's stunning
Hmm.
Mandy Rose. and she's just waiting for him. So Otis is like kind of like, I think all of us have been in this position before. We try to like, oh, like we see her, like okay, let's go. Like we're playing our music in our heads. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna go good. It's gonna go good. And out of nowhere, you see somebody putting like his hand on Mandy's shoulder, and that man is not Otis. It happens to be
Yep.
Dolph
It's the
freaking
second-rate
Ziggler.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, yeah,
I
taking a
mean, I
page
mean,
of
I mean, Dolph Ziggler.
yeah. Shawn Michaels wannabe, Dolph Ziggler, Heartbreak Kid. You know, in this kind of persona of Heartbreak Kid, he is the one that is touching Mandy's shoulder, and she's like, I'm waiting on Otis, and he's like, well, no worries, and he sits down, and they start talking. Otis witnesses the whole thing, and he gets his car broken. He's just like, in complete disbelief of what's going on. He drops the flowers on the floor, and he takes off, and he leaves the restaurant. Again, the worst outcome that they could have given.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see something where maybe she would have looked over and saw Otis walking away, dropping the flowers, and then she would have got up and been like, and like kind of chased after him to show that she like has a heart and cares a little bit, instead of just being like, oh, I'm waiting for Otis, and then Ziggler's like, don't worry about it, and then it's just like, oh, okay, and just keeps
What
talking with him. You know what I mean? Like,
what I think they're gonna do it is just keep prolonging this because they know it's the only good thing of
oh
the show.
yeah,
And they're probably gonna have a match in the Elimination Chamber, which Jean Paul and I are gonna be at. They're probably gonna have that match over there in the Elimination Chamber, Otis against Dolph Ziggler, and maybe Mandy will be on ringside, which is kind of sucks to be Sonya Deville because you always have to just wait on Mandy to have her storylines and everything. But that's what the segment was. I think that like every day tease everybody, and we deserve a little better. And
yeah.
after this, of course,
Otis deserves better.
we always, yeah, because we're all rooting for Otis and he deserves better. And I don't know, Taki.
Yeah,
She,
exactly.
she's with Dolph, Taki. So I was like, don't worry, man. You'll get it next time. So we'll see a little bit more continuation when it comes to that. Main event. I don't even know why they will call this a main event. Miz and Morrison versus Roman Reigns.
This is the main event of main event.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
You know what I
exactly. There
mean?
you go. That analogy, and not even an oxymoron, but it's just an analogy. This main event, nobody really cares about, and of course, the worst possible outcome. You should not have your number one contender for a championship losing on TV. What they do, Miz and Morrison are the number one contenders at Super Showdown for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles with the New Day, and they give Roman and a surprise partner.
Because let me like surprise partner. It was like you said, it was Daniel Bryan, and it was like to me that it was like it wasn't a weird choice, but it was like who they gonna pick, and it's like Daniel Bryan. He has a past with the Miz and stuff, and it made sense. When did they call out Roman and his family? Was that last week?
No, they did that. I think they did that in social media. Social
Oh, because
media.
I was gonna say I did not see that, and I'm like, when did this happen?
No, it
And
was on social
also,
media. They did it on Instagram
yeah,
and Twitter.
and during the show, they said how with what Baron Corbin did last week when he attacked the people in the production van, he got fined and he was not allowed to be on the show, but he bought a ticket and was there. To me, if you're not allowed to be at the show, he should not have been allowed to buy a ticket either. So
And
he was at
why do you need to
so he was
prolong this?
so he was at ringside, and it's like because they of course they have to have Baron Corbin in the main event always. So he was at ringside, and so that's when I'm thinking, all right, these are the number one contenders to the tag team championships. They're gonna win because Corbin is gonna like throat punch Roman, or he's gonna do something, and then that is gonna continue their feud, build more heat and hype for it, even though nobody cares to begin with. But Roman and Daniel Bryan win anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like, what was the point of Corbin? And then he attacks after the match, and it's like, who cares? We're so sick of this. I literally turned off my TV already.
That's why we're like the video is gonna come out really quickly because this was not the good a good outcome. It should have been a DQ. Corbin gets in. He interrupts, and at least you keep Morrison and the Miz good for the match of Super Showdown. How am I
Exactly.
supposed to believe that they're going to be the new champions when Roman and Daniel Bryan beats them? Doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense. So, right, let's go over this right away. Morrison hits a Shining Wizard on Reigns for another 2 count. Morrison went to climb up, But then Roman grabbed him and rolled him up for another 2 count. Then he caught Morrison on meter with a Superman punch. Roman went for a spear, but Morrison hit a big boot. The Miz got the tag and hit the skull crushing finale, but of course, Bryan broke it up. And then Bryan hit a suicide dive on Morrison, but The Miz intercepted with his second dive attempt with a knee to Bryan's face. The Miz mocked Bryan with the yes fingers, or the yes kicks, but Roman landed a Superman punch on The Miz, and then he hit the spear for the win. And Roman and Daniel Bryan win, and after the match, King Corbin hit Reigns in the back of the neck with the scepter, and the show goes off the air. Mr. Leek, nothing of any meaning took place in this show. Like I said, this show needs to improve, but it needs to improve rapidly. They need to do something for people to care.
To me, there was nothing. There was nothing on this show that was main event worthy. There was not a single match. Like, I don't know what I would have put in the main event. Like, maybe the women's championship match, just because it was a championship match.
Yeah.
But there was nothing on this show that was like, oh, that should have been the main event, because everything was awful.
Yeah, it's not doing any favors to the people like us that are watching every single Friday. And especially, I will never use AC/DC. Are you ready for a good time? And you give me this kind of show.
No.
So to me, you're already like Robin, and you're already like, crapping on AC/DC's legacy for using that kind of analogy of like hinting that your show is going to be as good, and is absolute disappointment.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst show that WWE puts on.
Yes, I will say even main event is probably better. We should start watching that. We should start talking about this every single Friday, because
instead of SmackDown.
And yeah, because people don't really care about SmackDown anymore. And why? Who's the one to blame? Us? Hell no. It's these guys that like don't even want to give us anything good. We always say it, week and weekend. This show is on a Friday. Give me something way interesting. You gotta change the whole tone, the whole atmosphere, the whole feel of the show, so people can actually get invested by. And it's not happening. So, Mr. Leeg, I think we're ready to wrap this up. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for watching. We will be back tomorrow. We have previews and predictions for NXT Takeover Portland. Thank you for the overwhelming support that you guys give us all in on every single day. We get like always posts on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We're always checking. As you can see right there, all the pages are right there for you guys. And don't forget to please subscribe, and then go into the bell for all the notifications. Every single video is linked up right there, and we will be back.
If you haven't checked out already, Monday Night Raw. We have all the shows already. Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW. You're obviously watching SmackDown right now. Like Juan said, Portland. Wrestling never stops. Neither do we. Even though when it comes to Friday nights, we wish it would stop.
Yeah, we will wish that. Like I said, move it to Tuesday. So give me something to do on the Tuesday nights, and so I can actually live on Fridays, because unfortunately you're taking away my liberties on Friday night. But we do it because of all of you and all the love that we have for every single one of you that's been there and will be there. So thank you so much, guys, and in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we both want to say